Okay, so I just got back from a pickup. I was actually going out to the water department to have our water tested. So, lady had on Facebook Marketplace, I never have any luck on Facebook Marketplace, but she had this lot of records, and I've thrown away some of the Reader's Digest, and I have some more. There's a whole box of LPs that probably aren't worth much on the back seat, but okay, so I just got back from a pickup. I was actually going out to the water department to have our water tested. So, lady had on Facebook Marketplace, and I never have any luck on Facebook Marketplace, but she had this lot of records, and I've thrown away some of the Reader's Digest, and I have some more. There's a whole box of LPs that probably aren't worth much on the back seat, but all told, there's some really good 78s in here. So for 20 bucks, even just the sleeves of these for the 20 bucks, I could probably get 30 or 40 just for the sleeves on these. We'll look at them closely, but there's some in binders. Not all super hits or anything else like that. But the first one I saw was a broken record. I know, heck, it's broken, but it was the Chattanooga Choo Choo by Glenn Miller, and if it wasn't broken, I would have got 40 bucks for that one. So I took a shot for 20 bucks. It was about a 15 or 20 minute drive, round trip out of my way. Again, we'll look at these. We'll get some close-ups on it. Let me walk over and show you what's left in the back here too. I got a box again. This was included, nothing special. I didn't even honestly look through them. Other than that one, I saw the Chattanooga Choo Choo. Actually, some of these might be okay too. They look like decent classical. So yeah, I might get some out of the LPs. Nothing special, nothing super spectacular, but all told, it should be a decent purchase for 20 bucks for a whopping 20 minutes of my time. So I brought all the records in, and I spent, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes going through every record. I pulled them all out of the sleeves. I stacked up all the damaged, the broken ones. I separated them by how I'll sell them as well. There were some really good ones in here, which I was quite surprised. It's a broad mix of leftovers. The people I got this from, I had a few moments. I asked them if they had any more, blah, blah, blah. Turns out they're a estate clearance company. They buy out estates, leftovers and stuff. And that's what this stuff was. So they threw a bunch together, and they just listed it on Facebook Marketplace for $20. I had to run out someplace, as I said, to have our water tested just to make sure, and this was out that way. So I decided, hey, I'll take a shot, 20 bucks. It's, again, just a few minutes out of our way. There's a lot of money in this lot. I'm very, very surprised. There's some heartbreakers in here too. There's 3 records, which I'll show you, that were cracked. One of them, as I said, was cracked the minute I saw them, and I'm assuming the same things. I handled them extremely carefully, put them in the back, I wedged stuff in there, stood them all up, took the time to line them all up so nothing was gonna get smacked in or bent or broken after I picked them up. But anyway, let's swing around, and we're going to show you what I got. I'll show you a few good ones. For those in Patreon, I'm gonna go through these more closely, and we're going to talk about good records in Patreon, ones that are in this lot that will make you some pretty decent money. Again, let's swing it around and show you some. Okay, so what you see on this table here is all out of the totes and boxes. And where are the totes? Here you can see the same totes. There's the box. This is not including the LPs, which I haven't touched. I just threw them on a shelf. I'm not going to mess with the LPs right now. Not interested at all. Well, let's start with, instead of $20, it was $19.50. There were 2 quarters in the box. That big, well, the tote, the big blue tote, and one of these. I can get 50 cents bare bones minimum. I would never recommend using one of these though, these 45 adapters. Most people crack the 45 getting them out. So in all honesty, I wouldn't recommend it, but they do sell. You can buff them up and make them look very nice also. Now, a surprise in here was Elvis, and this is about a $10 or $15 record in this condition. It's an original in the whole works. It's a decent version of the disc, if I can get it out without messing up. And there you can see it's a nice orange label one. So it's a 4.7 series. Again, 10-15. Now, this is probably the best record from the 1940s up that was in here. There's a couple other good records that are in this same price range. Again, 20 bucks. I couldn't believe it. I took a shot. I couldn't see. There was a don't ask questions. I don't know what they are. This is what you get. 20 bucks, take it or leave it kind of thing in the ad. This is the Penguins doing Earth Angel on a 78 Dotone. Look this one up if you don't, if you're wondering on the price. 75 bucks was what I'll probably get at bare bones minimum, up to 100, depending on where I list it at. Best disc in here, and it's in excellent condition. That's really about it in this stack here. There's a decent folder out of that. Now let's show you the heartbreakers here. These are ones that I could have sold for decent money. Spike Jones, I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus. 20 bucks, 25 bucks, easy any day of the week on that one. I definitely would sell it for Christmas. A Cabana in Havana, Glenn Miller, that one would have been a good one too. I would have got 25 or so bucks for that one. Again, it's damaged. And the first disc I looked at, and one I always look for, Chattanooga Choo Choo by Glenn Miller. This one would have got me 40, 45 bucks or better. So it just depends on the condition, and this one would have been excellent. Again, these are 3 crushers here, not worth much. There's some broken ones in here too. There was probably another $100, $150 worth of broken records in that stack. Just the way it is. Now on these here, this is a stack of just swing. So this will be swing music. I'll split it up. There's 1 or 2 in here. I want to double check before I do that. There should easily be 3 lots of swing. I should take 30 bucks per lot. So there's about 100 bucks in this one stack here. I have no problem shipping 2025 78s in a bunch, in a box, you know, through the post office. I've never had one damaged. You double box and take great care to make sure that they're well taken care of. Now, these 2 lots here are all sellers. They're all sellers. Now, seller-wise may mean that I'll have to put 3 or 4 together in a lot and get 20, 25 bucks. I will never ever sell anything 78-wise for less than, say, around 20 buck mark, unless it's already been up. Because again, these take a little while to ship correctly. That is. So always be cautious on that, on what you're pulling out here. Now this is a split between probably half of these are individual sellers. Some good standards that I sell all the time, those in Patreon. Again, I'll show you some. We'll talk about them if you've watched my videos, even on here and in Patreon as well. There's some of the classics that I get all the time that I could sell 100 of the same record all day long if I was able to get that many. And there's a couple in here that are really decent records as well. Now, these are earlier ones that will sell individually without a doubt. If you're unaware, 78 Christmas music does extremely well if it's early enough. This is pre-war. It's a Victor Batwing. It's a special colored label because of the type of music that it is as well. And that's pretty much all of these are individual early ones. There's some real early gospel in here that will do extremely well, to be honest with you. And before I show you the stuff here, this is a stack that most people wouldn't mess with. Now, you notice pretty much all the sleeves other than those right there have been taken off. All those sleeves on these are garbage. They're trash. They're not worth a dime. The 2 sleeves that I have in this stack will be sold with the record that they are in because it's a matching pair and it's a rare sleeve. Just this sleeve I could get 10 or 15 bucks for in some cases. Now, these are from the books that are trashed out. There was nothing in them that was worth anything. I threw some away. I kept a couple. A good tip here, I cut these down and I mail 78s in these sleeves. That's what I do with them. That's what I've done for years. So this is free mailing material. 78 sleeves are hard to come by, or you got to buy them, and they're fairly expensive considering, you know, what the cost is of other sleeves. So I'm going to save these. Same thing with here. I pulled all the records out. You can actually even sell these books, but they're not in greatest condition, so I'm going to just sell them, you know, or use them for mailing items. And even if it's like a picture set like this is an album, there's even a mark to cut. So you cut right there and boom. Now it's going to be opened on the side, but it's just to mail the items. And I almost always use an old sleeve of some sort to mail every single 78. People like the earlier ones, believe it or not. Again, I'll cut these off here. These will be perfect ones there. So I can mail quite a few for nothing. So if I had to buy that many sleeves, you're talking 25 bucks. I know they're old. You know, people say maybe they're a little musky or all, but I got a way to at least alleviate some of it. If they don't like it, they trash it when they get home. The records do not hold the smell as long as they've been well taken care of. I do clean them all before they go out. And then the best aspect here is this stack. And let me put these over here for just a second. These are all company sleeves. You can iron these out. So again, don't be bothered by that. In just a few moments, these will iron out. You can unroll them in the whole works if you so wish. So when I sell an RCA record, 78 record, I usually just grab an RCA sleeve. When I do a Columbia, same thing. If they're not super great condition, I mean, they just go on a cheap record when I mail them out. That's what I've done for years. Now, let me carefully move these over here where I can show them. And I'm going to move these aside over there, and hopefully they don't fall on us. So these are just some typical records that I personally would have grabbed up. We'll zoom in just a little bit there. Brazil. Now, if you're familiar with, let me sit down. It'd be a little easier to get to these for you. This is Brazil. Xavier Cugat, Latin. It's an excellent version of it. Brazil, this was used in the Terry Gilliam movie with De Niro and the whole works. It's a well-collected classic. You can find it by many musicians. This one sells for 20-25 bucks on average for us. Now, Diffuser's Face, Spike Jones. I usually get $40 or $50 for this one here, so this one's a great one as well. Doesn't show up very often these days, so anyway, that's a good one. I forgot what's on the back. I want to go back to Western Virginia. Now, this is interesting. I haven't run across these before. Tony Pastor, Zippity Doodah from Disney's movie. It's 1947, record of the month, and it's blue. I have not seen this one before at all. I have to assume, with all the records that I run into, this is going to be worth 25 or 30 bucks. I'm going to probably put them up pretty high. Maybe there's some other ones to judge by, but I've never seen these before at all. I do run into these high tones of different colors. I have a buyer who puts these on the wall just for the color aspect of it. So I can get 10 or 15 bucks for most of these, even if they're not worth a ton. The green one, for sure, I'll do extremely well on, because I personally myself haven't even seen a green one. And these are shellac, old 78s. The Harmonica Cats. This is another one of those labels. The right actual disc and everything, but it's a special version of it. So there were far less of these Record of the Month Club. And believe it or not, some of the early 78s were like mail discs that were made on brown cardboard with a coating on it. And it's the same basic principle, and those can sell for hundreds, if not $1,000 plus for some of the right ones. Now, there's no way Pego My Heart or anything like that's going to go for that kind of money, but the Harmonica Cats were around in the 50s. They were very popular for quite some time. It's all instrumental. Another blue-colored one here, Bobby Boyle. I'm going to have to look these all up. Begin the Begun, Ray Block. Rumors Are Flying, Tony Martin. Another one. Now, this is Mercury, 1946, so there's no doubt on the date on these. Another nice blue one here. So most of these I should easily be able to get. Bottom end 15, but I'm honestly thinking 25 or better. I sell Frank Sinatra all the time. LPs, 45, 78 still sell. Love and Marriage is extremely popular because of the Married with Children soundtrack. So this one always gets me 25 bucks as well. So that's a really good one there. Doesn't even matter what's on the back. In the Jailhouse Now, every copy of it that I sell from pre-war, World War I is sure so. Frankie Wallace and the guitar. So every one of these sells for us. It's early country, 25 or 30 bucks. Banner is a generic label. Blue Yodel is on the other side. You should know who sings the original Blue Yodel. This one's going to be a good disc for sure. Aurora, the Andrews Sisters. Now, why is Aurora going to be any decent? Well, they sing it in an Abbott and Costello movie. I tie the name with Abbott and Costello, the movie, and the whole works, and I should be able to do fairly well on that one. I've sold Andrews Sisters for years without any problem for good money. Now, Perry Como, Papa Loves Mambo. That's another popular one. It's in several movies. You tie it in with the movies. The right keyword, the right site. Now, you can sell these on Discogs. You can sell them on Amazon and eBay and still do okay. Del Camps and stuff like that does okay, but I don't like to ship them overseas. This is a $25 or so record in this condition, so that's a pretty decent one here. You should know the Charleston. Every version of the Charleston from the 20s pre-war era, I get, 35 to 75, 80 bucks. Paul Whiteman does the Charleston on a early 78, and his can go for 75 to 125 these days. This one's a good one. I think the other side is something else. Yes, Sir, That's My Baby. So it's a dual side hit. This one should do extremely well also. Rum and Coca-Cola, you should know that one. I've sold probably, I don't know, this is a $15 to $20 disc, but I've probably sold 25 or 30 of these, to be honest with you. The Three Caballeros. Disney, you should know that one right off the bat. This is Bing Crosby and the Andrews Sisters from Walt Disney Productions, The Three Caballeros. I've sold 3 or 4 of these. I know it was instantly what it was, what I'm going to get out of it. 25 to around 40 bucks, depending on condition, typically is what I get for those. Route 66. I've sold, I don't know, 40 Route 66 by Bing Crosby and the Andrews Sisters. So it's not a super high disc, 25 bucks if I let it set for a little while, maybe even more right now since some of the prices for these have gone up. These are just some very common discs that people run into that they don't assume is worth some money. Again, those in Patreon, we're going to go and look at some specific ones in these lots here because there's some as good, if not better, than those mixed in with these also. Well, there we have it. Hopefully that gave you some ideas, some thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button down below. You can also hit the bell icon to be notified if I post new content or go live. Subscribe and tell all your friends.